When it comes to making horror hits, there seems to be a winning formula. Take The Night of the Living Dead or Michael Jackson's Thriller. They both have one thing in common: zombies. And while for most the fascination with the undead is just for this time of year, our Anthony Robart met up with some people who are preoccupied with them year-round and who say zombies have something to teach us.
In the land of fiction, anything is possible. But Matt Moak isn't playing make-believe. He's preparing for a war.
First thing that I would do is I would take an interior closet in my house and I would break a hole in the floor of the closet and I would break a hole in the ceiling of that closet, and then I would seal the closet off. And I would actually live under my house.
Getting his house ready, making a plan to survive a zombie assault.
So that any zombies or hostile humans could come through my house and it would look like no one even lived here.
For more than a decade, Matt has been on his own personal mission to understand the mind of a monster. So he founded the Zombie Research Society, an offbeat group of academics and survivalist enthusiasts trying to find out how zombies work.
The more I research zombies, the more I'm freaked out by them. I do have a zombie preparedness kit.
And to prepare, he has developed his own survival guide to withstand a zombie outbreak based on 3 principles.
In a worst-case scenario, you're dead in 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food.
In the hills of Angeles National Park, about 1 hour north of Los Angeles, California, Matt puts his skills to the test. He has invited a few nearby zombie chapter members to join him to practice the fundamentals of survival.
What a zombie camp is designed to do is teach people the basic skills they'll need if they're lucky enough to get outside of the city.
The group that arrives is a mixture of experienced outdoorsmen and novices, but they all have one thing in common. They believe the zombies are coming.
If you're prepared for zombies, you're prepared for anything.
Daniel Violet, a title insurance broker by day, has come to the woods to share his insights on zombies.
Well, I think rule number 1, if zombies were to break out, you want to be invisible. The less people that know you're alive and the less zombies that know you're alive, the less trouble and less problems you're going to have.
Becoming invisible means living off the grid, learning to set up camp in the most remote locations.
We have lots of trees here. We could definitely find places to build shelters, stay out of the elements.
Daniel is expecting the undead zombie. For him, the zombie apocalypse will come in the form of an infectious disease.
Basically a disease that takes over the mind and causes people to go crazy. My view of it, it's almost like rabies in humans.
All this got some organizations and even governments thinking, well, scheming about ways of using zombie preparedness for their own ends. For the last 2 years, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in the U.S. put out recommendations online to survive a zombie attack. Even the BC government emergency information team got in on the gimmick, releasing tips earlier this year. Gary Leonard is an English and film professor at the University of Toronto.
Why do you think disaster agencies have used the concept of zombies to get people prepared for these situations?
Because to survive zombies, you have to find a way to go back to complete self-sufficiency, which is exactly what we would require in a real disaster. You would have to go to the woods, and you would have to live off of the plants you found, and you would have to limit your access to the outside world. Zombies are great for that because if you forget something, if you leave a door open, if you decide you want to try to go to the grocery store, they get you.
In the foothills of California, Baloo Lazoya is sharpening his disaster relief skills.
I am about 90% prepared.
An experienced survivalist, Baloo is using the aftermath of natural disasters as a template to prepare for a zombie outbreak. Disasters like the chaos in New Orleans in the wake of Hurricane Katrina.
Most people think they have a grasp of the concept of surviving, but a lot of people don't. Being prepared for zombies is getting yourself prepared for pretty much anything. Natural disasters, economic disasters, political disasters.
Disasters and unrest that Leonard says start blurring the line between the real and the imaginary for many.
When you turn on CNN, the headlines in our current news programs are identical to headlines in the early phases of zombie movies.
The blurred line between real and imaginary can be understood, according to Leonard, with headlines every day that sound like a plot to a zombie movie. That's where it started for Matt. His fascination with zombies was born out of the quintessential zombie movie, Night of the Living Dead. He pays homage to it on his skin, and it's even influenced his personal life.
So there's a great scene where a little girl is sick in the movie, she turns into a zombie, and then she eats her parents. Maybe that's why I don't want kids.
So to ensure he doesn't get eaten by zombies, Matt has set up a weapons clinic for the group.
What I'm interested to see is these shotgun adapters that allow you to shoot any caliber of bullet out of a single load shotgun, essentially turning it, in my opinion, into potentially the best zombie weapon ever, because you can scrounge any caliber of bullet anywhere, any ammunition you find, it's gonna work for your gun. So I can't wait to see how this thing works.
So since you've never shot a gun before, your first thing is always remember, you treat a gun like it's loaded all the time.
Baloo is getting those around him trained up too.
You need to make sure everybody's on the same page. You need to make sure that everyone's willing to try to survive. If they're not, they're going to be the weakest link in your chain.
Baloo goes to the range several times a month, ensuring his shot is dead on.
I need to know that my kill shot is within a range of 0 to 500 yards.
And it's all about accuracy and precision, because to survive a zombie attack, you'll only get one chance at the bullseye.
Whatever it takes, you got to destroy the brain.
The head. The head is, from what we know, is the only place that we can really kill them. Any trauma to the head is what takes them out.
As the sun sets over the final day of zombie survival camp, Matt Moak cares little what the world makes of his obsession. He says he will have the last laugh when that fateful day comes.
I only have to be right once, right? I think it's gonna happen, and I only have to be right once. I could be wrong 1,000 times, but the 1,001st time when zombies actually show up at your door, I'm ready.